Hey, good morning everybody, it's Mike, and thanks for joining me this morning. Distractions. Oh my God, the distractions. I had a long list. I did. Mike, I had a long list of good intentions last week. I even had a written weekly schedule. I'd sat down, taken the time, and actually put it down. I was determined and I was focused. Absolutely, this week, I'm going to stick to this schedule. And I got very little of that done. I know. Why? The distractions, the endless distractions. Where does this come from? And what can I do about it? That's what we're going to talk about this week. And every day I'm going to offer you a specific, actionable strategy to deal with the endless distractions that attack all of us. First, I want you to understand that there's really three kinds of people when it comes to distractions. There's the blamers, the shamers, and the claimers. The blamers, the shamers, and the claimers. What do I mean? The blamers, the distractions happen to everybody. The blamers say all of the distractions are external, happening to me. I would be determined and focused if it wasn't for the kids, if it wasn't for the pets, if it wasn't for the coronavirus, if it wasn't for the guy mowing his yard in the back, if it wasn't for all these other things happening to me, I would be determined and focused. But what can I do? The shamers, they're a little bit different. They just blame themselves. Well, I'm just dumb, stupid, and lazy. That's why. I don't have any motivation. I don't have any drive. I'm just a big fat tub of lard sitting around, just letting things happen to me. I'm just a loser. Now the claimers, don't be a shamer, right? First, before I go on to the claimers, don't do that to yourself. Don't keep saying that stuff over and over to yourself. You'll start to believe it. And I'm going to prove that to you in a minute. Well, I'll just prove it to you right now and then I'll come back to it. Do not, for the remainder of this call, I instruct you, do not think about little furry puppies. You are not allowed to think about little furry puppies. Okay, you got that straight. Do not think about them. Don't think about 4 or 5 of them playing together. Do not block that out of your mind. Blamers, everybody else, it's all happening to me. What can I do? Shamers, I'm such a loser. Claimers are a little bit different. Claimers say, yeah, I got this issue. Now, what am I going to do about it? Claimers understand that it's not what happens. It's just how I respond to what happens, which is what is important. And I want to convert all of us into claimers. Okay, now you're not thinking about those little furry puppies, right? You've blocked those out of your mind. Okay, I want you to understand this. We need to understand that all human behavior is being driven by the desire to avoid feeling uncomfortable. You're not driven by what you want. You're driven by what you don't want. You want me to prove that to you? Because you might think, no, Mike, I'm very goal-oriented and I'm always going towards what I want. And I say, I call bullshit on that. You are not. You are going away from what you don't want. And it's important to understand it before we can solve it. If you're hungry, you eat. If you're bored, you turn the TV on, you go to Pinterest, you go to Instagram. If you're tired, you sleep. If you're lonely, go to Facebook or Match.com. If it's time to work, I got stuff it's in my weekly schedule. See, Mike, it's right here. And it's 9 a.m. and here's what I'm supposed to do at 9 a.m. But I'm just going to check emails first. I'm just going to check emails first. I'm just going to check Facebook first. Somebody might have responded to that ad I put onto Facebook, but they didn't. And you know they didn't. And that wasn't urgent. And you could have come back to that at any time. But I'm just going to do this first. Understanding that all triggers are either internal or external. Okay? External triggers, pings, notifications, bells, whistles, phones ringing, dogs barking, kids, these are all external factors. Internal triggers, we can control the external. I know that you're working from home right now. I know a lot of you are. And I know that you have a workspace set up in your home, and there is no reason. You are bright people. You have figured this out, and you have taken care of all the external triggers. You've done all that. You've read all the tips and advice on how to efficiently work from home, right? And you have it all set up. But they didn't tell you about the tricky part, the internal triggers. You fixed all the external stuff. It's the internal stuff that's going to get you. What I mean? I mean this. I'm going to start tomorrow after lunch, after I check emails. Those are the internal triggers, and those are the tough ones. That doesn't, see, the internal triggers don't give a damn how nice your home office is, do they? But they start working on, well, let's just grab a snack and then we'll get done. Let me go make a cup of coffee and then I'll get started. I'll get started after lunch, but this morning I'm going to do like administrative stuff. I'm going to like warm up into the day. It's all just total bullshit, and you know it. And because you know it, then you find out who you are. Which one of the three kinds of people are you? When you start thinking back, and like I might ask you, so what did you have planned today, or what got in your way? And every time the answer is the distractions. And then when we poke a little bit deeper than that, we find out who you are. Are you a blamer? You blame everybody else, everything else? Are you a shamer? Most of you are shamers. You just blame yourself. There's something wrong with you. I want to transition you to a claimer. Okay, this is what happens. I have all this internal bullshit. I'm going to get started after I check my emails. You don't need to check your emails right now. There's never anything urgent in there. It's one of the most interesting things about being in real estate. There's almost nothing that's urgent. If you don't do it right now, something horrible is going to happen. Almost never. We escalate it, we magnify it in our minds to become urgent, like, oh my gosh, I have to do this right now. If I don't do this right now, like the whole world's going to start to unravel. No, it's not. It's real estate. Almost nothing is urgent. You have a lot of things that are going to come up today that you could consider important, but almost none of it's urgent. Nobody's going to die today. We're not a hospital. So how do we start fighting the internal triggers, which are really where the distractions come from, the hard ones to fix? Well, one strategy that people try is abstinence. I'm just not going to do that anymore. I'm just not going to go make a snack or check my emails or take a peek at Facebook before I get started. I'm just going to be determined. Yeah, how's that working? When does abstinence ever work? I'm just not going to eat that anymore. Well, you never were eating because you were hungry. You were never overeating because you were hungry. You never drank too much alcohol because it tastes so good. You had to acquire a taste for all kinds of alcohol. The first time it didn't taste very good, did it? We don't smoke cigarettes because it's so hot and sexy and tastes so good and makes us look so attractive. We don't do any of these things past the point of what's good for us because they're so attractive. Why do we eat too much? Why do we smoke? Why do we drink? Why do we use drugs? Why do we do anything that's not good for us? Why? We're trying to stop feeling uncomfortable inside. We're running away from being uncomfortable. Every time I eat stuff I know I shouldn't eat or eat too much of something, I'm just trying to make myself feel better, right? So I want to come back to something we talked about a little bit earlier. You're not thinking about the little furry puppies, are you? You block those out of your mind. When I ordered you to not think about little furry puppies, that was it. You stopped thinking about it. See how hard that is? What you think about expands. When I tell myself I'm not going to eat the chocolate cake, all I want's the chocolate cake. So what do I do about it? What's an effective strategy? Well, now we're down to the meat of the issue. And every day at this time, if you'll join the call, I'm going to give you a strategy for dealing with the distractions. If you really want to, I'll show you how to get past this. Why? I had to learn too. Hey, I'm not special. I had to learn too, and I still have to deal with them every day. You think there aren't things that I need to do that I don't really want to, that checking emails is more comfortable than making calls or doing videos or working on my marketing campaign? Of course it is. Everybody has to deal with this. So for today, here's my strategy tip for you. The 30-minute rule. Well, I'm going to get started, but I'm going to go grab a snack first. I'm going to go make a cup of coffee first. No. Yeah. This is when the 30-minute rule kicks in. I'm going to do this, but first I've got to do this. That's where the distractions start. Use the 30-minute rule. Now see, I want to go make myself a cup of coffee. I can do that in 30 minutes. Now I'm going to do this. Whatever is on my written weekly schedule, I'm going to do this for 30 minutes. And in 30 minutes, I can get up and go get the cup of coffee. I want the slice of chocolate cake, and then I'll get started. No, okay, that's fine. In 30 minutes, you can have the slice of chocolate cake. I want to run through McDonald's and get a Big Mac or a quarter pounder. Now, let's just make it a biggie size meal and get the biggie fries with it. Okay, that's fine. Don't deny it to yourself. Abstinence doesn't work. Haven't we figured that out? I'm never going to do this again. Doesn't work. I'll give myself permission for that, but in 30 minutes. Right now, I'm going to do what's on my schedule, what's in front of me. Use the 30-minute rule today and see if it doesn't empower you a bit. Go ahead and do what you're supposed to be doing at 8:45 a.m. in the morning. Whatever your weekly schedule says for you to do. Oh, some of you right now are going, yeah, I don't have that weekly schedule. Well, then here's what I promise you. If you haven't taken the time to develop a written weekly schedule for this week, then your week is going to be nothing but distractions. And I guess the good news from that is you won't be uncomfortable this week at all. You won't, because you will only do what feels comfortable to you. I mean, you're not going to make any money, and you're not going to sell any houses, but you kind of know that already, right? For the others of you that have taken the 15 minutes to put together a written weekly schedule, when you want to check your emails, when you want to go to Facebook, when you want to go make a cup of coffee, and then you'll get started, just say this to yourself. I'll do that in 30 minutes. For right now, I'm going to go ahead and get started. And see how it works for you. And come join me tomorrow, and every day this week, I'm going to give you a different strategy, a different tool that you can add to your toolkit. So by the end of the week, you'll have a whole bunch of tools in your toolkit that you can use to address the issue of the endless distractions that attack all of us. For today, use the 30-minute rule to go out there and make it happen for yourself today.